Injuries and contact sports go hand in hand. It's almost every day we hear that some player is out due to some injury. Today's video also covers this sort of incident, but this time it's actually the fan fave Druw Jones, son of the all-time star Andruw Jones, who's hurt. It's speculated that the young star won't be able to play the entire season due to a pretty tough shoulder injury. Here's what you need to know. First up, one of the top picks isn't off to a very good start. The D-backs had their hopes riding high. In the 2022 Major League Baseball draft, the team had been able to get a hold of the young Jones. His excellent performance on the field had already made him a favorable draft from many teams, but in the end, we saw him joining the Diamondbacks. Now, unfortunately, things haven't turned out that well for both the team and the player. If you think this is bad, then just wait till you hear this. Jones was injured in the very first batting practice he had with the team, which was just a few days after he signed a multi-million-dollar deal with his maiden MLB team. That's too early, don't you think? His selection was made in early July when the drafts took place. This gave him not even a whole month to celebrate his signing off. Now we can only hope that the injury isn't too bad. It's really sad seeing that the young player got injured before he even got to play in the season. Hopefully, this won't dampen his spirits. The young Jones had just signed a deal with the Diamondbacks for about $8.19 million. He also debuted at the Chase Field this last weekend. Many fans have huge expectations from the player, mainly because he's the son of a five-time All-Star Andruw Jones, who also won the Golden Glove Award around 10 times. Now, these are some pretty big shoes to fill, but Jones Jr. was doing just fine on his own. He had gathered a fan following of his own when he got picked number 2 overall in the drafts. This also added to the pressure probably, as everyone wanted him to continue with his amazing performance throughout the season. And now, well, it's unclear if he'd be able to even play. The D-backs haven't really been straightforward about Jones's injury. The severity hasn't been revealed yet, so there's still a little hope that he might be able to play. But ESPN speculates that it could be season-ending if any sort of surgery is required. The team, however, has come forward to say that it's too early to reach a proper conclusion. But in the words of the Fram director of the team, he was just taking batting practice and took a regular round of BP and felt something in his shoulder on his second-to-last swing. Now, let's just hope that it's not too serious and that he'll be able to play soon. Moving on. Jones is required to undergo more testing. These tests will allow the team to reach a verdict regarding where the player stands. He's already undergone medical imaging, but this coming Wednesday he's supposed to meet with an orthopedic surgeon who is based in Phoenix. The surgeon is reported to be Dr. Gary Waslewski, and he's basically going to let everyone know whether Jones will be able to continue playing or will he have to get surgery. So we're all looking forward to Wednesday to find out what's going to happen. Wednesday will also tell us if we can expect to see Druw Jones appear in the spring training next year. But if anything does happen to Jones, then it'll be a huge loss to the D-backs. You might agree with us here because several platforms have ranked him the top available talent in the MLB drafts of 2022. His excellent form provides some really good defense, and the young man's projectable frame and hand speed definitely have the potential to further improve. Of course, he has a far way to go, but even right now he's better than many. Several sports writers have even named him as a future All-Star, and we do not disagree with them. The five-tool outfielder is set to chase all records made by his father, and there's a huge possibility that he might even outperform him. The two are currently better than almost all of the father-son duos that we've witnessed in MLB history, but facing such sort of disappointment so early on might just affect his spirits, even if they won't have a significant impact on his career. He did wait for a long time to finally get picked in the drafts, but now he'd have to wait for even more before he actually gets to play. We won't pretend to know what it feels like to miss your first professional season, as the only sport we're good at is sitting around. But we reckon that it must be a pretty big deal for the 18-year-old, who has probably dreamt of this moment since his childhood. One thing that comforts us to a certain extent is that Jones Sr. had his fair share of injuries while he played baseball, so he probably knows the drill better than anyone else. Of course, no injury is the same, but at least there's some comfort in knowing that Jones Jr. is in capable hands. That's all we have for the young player's first professional injury. Now, let's catch you up with everything else that has been going on in the world of MLB. Starting with the Giants pitcher mistakenly launches his bat towards a teammate's knee. Sport bloopers are always fun, but we're sure this one must have hurt more. The incident took place last Tuesday when the Giants were facing off against the D-backs and incurred a 7-3 loss. The entire team was really frustrated with the performance, but as it turns out, Carlos Gordon took it the hardest. After he gave up 5 runs in the first 5 innings, it was clear from the player's face that he was not happy. So, as any normal human, he lashed out and kicked a bat in the dugouts. But what happened next was something no one was expecting. Actually, no. Everyone saw that coming, apart from Gordon. The bat ended up making contact with the Giants' Thairo Estrada, who, by the way, was walking from the other direction. He wasn't that far away from the bat kicker, so he hardly had any time to move out or protect himself. Estrada ended up falling to the ground, and although Gordon went to his aid, many were displeased with his actions. Videos of incidents show Estrada rubbing his knee even after he got up, showing that he was still in pain. Well, this was not a wise decision on his part. Of course, he didn't mean to, but hurting teammates while the game is already going down in the dumps does not seem like a wise strategy. Maybe next time he won't kick a bat while being surrounded by teammates. Next up, what's going to become of Soto? The trade deadline is upon us, but there's still one mystery that hasn't been solved yet. Okay, it's not exactly a mystery, but rather a very important question. Which team will get to call Soto theirs? Whichever team will get him is definitely going to be exceedingly lucky. Here's why. The young star is considered to be the best hitter after Ted Williams. He's only 23 years old, and the amount of talent he packs makes him a very rare player. Here are a few teams that are working hard to get Soto on their roster. First up, we have the Padres, who have yet to win a World Series. They are all in, as Soto just might be what they need to flip their luck. Next, we have the Washington Nationals. The reason why we've added them here is that it's speculated that the asking price for the player is too high, so he might not get moved at all. Lastly, we have the Mariners as strong contenders. They are the best match and might be the only team who'd be able to pay what the Nationals want in trade. Now, we just need to wait for less than a day and see what's going to happen. Lastly, the Yankees were revealed to be one of those who made a trade offer for the Angels' Ohtani. Yes, that's right, the Angels might have been getting ready to say goodbye to Ohtani, who is easily one of their top 3 players, but thankfully, he's going nowhere. This amazing two-way player is currently getting a lot of trade offers from different teams, including the Sox and the Padres. Of course, we're not surprised at all. His amazing talent and consistent performance makes him hard to miss. Ohtani has also been named a once-in-a-century phenomenon, so the Angels would be making a huge mistake if they end up trading him. Currently, the team isn't all that willing to listen to any more offers, and with the deadline less than 24 hours away, we can expect him to stay put. That's a wrap for this video, guys. How do you feel about the fact that Druw Jones might not be able to play? Were you expecting to throw homers left and right this season? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos like this.